Yeah, we're gonna record this conversation.
What's it for? Are you putting it online?
Just to get the record, basically.
You posting it?
That's after the conversation. If we'll see what happens. Let's just have
What's the topic?
Just hearing Rebbe's struggles and hearing Rebbe just to give me some advice about consistency. Just give me a little bit about your background. Whatever you want after. First.
No, I'm saying not post. If you're posting it, you have to sign the
Okay, we'll sign the release after we have the conversation.
No, seriously, I don't want to post. Talk to you.
Okay, we'll see how the conversation is, and then you'll decide.
I trust you. You're gonna post it.
You'll hear the conversation. We'll have the conversation.
Be in Liquid Scoop, and
you're not getting Liquid Scoop. I get 20 views.
No.
I'm gonna record it, and then you'll see what you'll listen to. I'll send it to you, and then you'll decide. It's being recorded. I just want to hear what Rebbe's background is in beginning of consistency, giving to myself. How can I learn from Rebbe's struggles? Marriage and your beginning of your life. Can you tell me a little about yours?
My wife can hear.
What?
My wife can hear this.
Your wife can hear whatever she wants.
No.
It's not going anywhere. You'll decide after. Just.
Not the wrong answer. Whatever. I'll talk to you. Listen.
Just let's have a conversation. I want to learn from you, Rebbe. I have some problems in my life, and I want to learn from you.
Call on Lehman, call on them. But the problem is you learn from too many people. You don't know what. How do you know what to filter and what not?
Because most things go one in one ear and one out the other, and most things, if they have to talk to you, you can try it over and over, but it has to really. You watch your video. Why this video versus that video? You know the person, or to answer your question, it's a very deep question. It's like, so you learn from others. What's going on?
It didn't sound like a Shlomo's office.
He's not here. So
I know.
He's out of town, right?
Yeah. Louis!
Mike, you're the man.
No.
I learned a lot from you.
You can't play it back. Oh, you're doing a podcast right now?
I don't know what we're doing. We're just having a conversation.
Am I gonna be live?
We're just having a conversation.
Is this gonna be live?
I can't plead
If someone watches, they're gonna hear me in the middle.
Mike.
Inside the Isle of Shano, Louis is a legend.
No, that's you. I want to know for myself. What is your journey of from a childhood where you grow up to you ended up in Houston? Give me a little bit about the background of what Houston was 20, 30 years ago.
Which part do you want? You want struggles?
Whichever one you want to give me.
You want my struggles? The struggles of Houston?
Whatever Rebbe's willing to give.
You're anything. I'm saying a lot to talk about. It could be hours. I don't have that much time. But,
even 10, 20 minutes.
10. That's the word like this. Like give you some history of Houston and you'll see the struggle. Like Yad Hashem, the main thing that in Houston we saw the Yad Hashem. That's I don't know if Rabbi Nagel told you, but not shy. We came here. We were both. Rabbi Nagel were young fishers. He wasn't interested in care. He needed to pay the bills. He was living in Queens, couldn't pay the bills. Wife didn't have a job then, or she didn't have business. So I wanted to go out of town. He wasn't interested. He couldn't afford his rent.
You convinced him.
Yes, I said this. We were looking for a kollel. We heard the opening of kollel in Houston, looking for a wife. I said, "Come, we'll go on interview. We'll go interview the guy." Anyway, we went to meet the person that was hired to be with kollel. His name was Yaakov Lipsky.
He's not here anymore.
He's not here. Yes. He lives in Baltimore now. He was a Rav in Chicago, and he wanted to do kiruv. Anyway, so we called him up, and he said he really doesn't have a meeting. He's on the way back to Chicago. He's in Baltimore. He's leaving. He has a flight. But he'll meet us halfway between Baltimore and New York. You ever drove from Lakewood to Baltimore?
Yeah, many times.
It's the Delaware Memorial Bridge.
Yeah, sure.
Nice show you. Real nice. It was the first hashkafa that happened, and everything since then was hashkafa. So we rent. Both our cars we couldn't make it. We had Shishivish cars. Couldn't even get to Baltimore. We had to rent a car, and we met under the Delaware Memorial Bridge. That's what's called the Delaware Memorial Bridge, because there's a Korean War memorial.
Yeah.
There's a park underneath, all the Korean War veterans.
Yeah.
names of everyone who's killed in the war. So that's what we made up when we meet. Like, you drive over the bridge, they make a U-turn under the bridge. We met there waiting.
So what does the U-turn have to do with life?
So what happened? This was the whole U-turn of life happened right there. Everything changed in that spot. So we weren't sure. So first we met him, and he tells us he doesn't think it's. First, the truth is right. So we met him, and we asked him. Shaila was, what is the ikar of this guy? Ikar learning. Grada will do ikar. We're going to help the community to pay the bills, or is the ikar to help the community? Grada has nothing to do during the day, so we're going to learn. That was the shot. So we wanted to learn. At that point, we still wanted to learn. So he said it's not negay. If you're asking that child, if you don't versteh that you could steig from helping other people, is the biggest thing. Is what he held at the time. Now I agree with him. If you don't believe that you could steig from helping other people, chesed, doing chesed, and be makar people, then it's not for you.
So what is?
He said, okay, it's not negay.
So what is your consistency? Your 20 years.
One second, wait. So that was not the end of the story. Then we're leaving. Rashi says it's not negay. It's not going to work. We're not the right people. Not what he's looking for. He also wanted a chevra. Only two. He wanted a chevra of four. So we're leaving. We're walking. We're sitting with schmoozing in this park. Only people there. There's a big wall. All of a sudden, a stretched limo pulls in, and this guy gets out. His driver. The passenger gets out. He goes over to the wall. And he puts his hands on the wall. He's like davening. Well, he obviously knew someone. After, so we schmoozed with him, and all the people there. So he comes over and says, "Oh, you guys are Jewish. What are you doing here?" He said, "This is his father. Came to visit. His father was killed in the Korean War, and that's why he came." He said, "What are we doing here?" So we told him we're meeting, starting a new project in Texas called Co. He said, "Guy, told him I'm a guy, a real guy, Italian, I think." So he said, "Wow, Houston." He said, "Actually, I have a restaurant there that I invested in. I can't believe it. I was the sign of God." He said, "I want to be the first one to donate to your organization." He takes out a gold pocket watch. He said, this was my father's. The only thing I have from my father. I want to donate it to your organization. The first donation.
How much was it worth?
I don't know. It's like a gold pocket watch. It wasn't gold now like today, but his father's like an heirloom. So we said, we can't take it. It's your father's. We talked him out of it. He said, "Listen, just give us the cash. We'll take the cash." So that's what happened. He gave us a few $100. That was the first donation. Now we knew, clinched it right there on the spot as a symbol of Shemayim. And he told us not to get because we weren't on the same page. A month later, he called us back. He said, "Listen, he spoke to different Rashivas. He spoke to Ron Shechter. He spoke to Zelig Epstein. They both told him that Iker has to be learning. From the learning, everything else comes from learning. Iker, you have to go down with the Matara has to be learning. The goal is learning. From the learning, everything else will happen. To be careful. But so he changed his whole tune. So he said, "Okay, now we're in." We never Nagel side were coming. There was one other.
He was a rabbi here.
Who?
This.
Lipsky? No, he's a rabbi in Chicago. He's never been.
So
they all came down for Shabbos. He had been there once before already. Check it out. They met him with Dr. Monk and original people. It's a long story short. That's how it started. That was the first thing, and then. The first 2 years were covered. Wilson paid for everything. Shmak. Living here, beautiful. No, didn't have to deal from Yidden. There was no from Yidden. We came. I always say a good line that we came to Houston. There were 4 women in the community covered their hair. Now there are 4 sheitamachs. That's how much it grew. We had 28 years. 28 years, it went from 4, not even shaitals, 4 ladies who covered their hair, the whole community, to 4 sheitamachas. It means for every sheitamach has to be at least, 100 women who right? Unbelievable growth. Anyway,
but in 28 years, the consistency of yours, of learning, of davening, because you're saying that was the ikar of coming.
So you're saying so what happened was, this Rabbi Lipsky, we liked him, granted, but it didn't work out with Malabatim so well. The monk, whatever, they had some issues with him. And also, that was after 2 years, Wolfson was covering the first 2 years, paying the salary, time of service. But 80% of the budget. Before Andy Serrato was there before. So we didn't have to raise a cent. What happens after 2 years? He came to Rosh Kollel and they said, you have to start raising money. He said, like, not done, but it was never not part of my job, it was never in my contract. To make a long story short, so they said, okay, so they fired him. He left. And so then at that point, they wanted to close the Kollel. We don't have a fundraiser. We don't. So it was just me and Yankee, me and Rabbi Nagel, for a year and a half, at least, maybe 2 years.
Just before Moshe Friedman, before.
Everyone.
But Rabbi.
Nobody was there.
Rabbi Wender was here.
Wender was the only one there. So what happened was, it was a major challenge. Basically, here, like, we loved it. Maisi Yom Chap, every yeshiva. Shmuel Kamenetsky, like 6 months after we started, he came down. And he told us, he said, like, this is the exciting life for you to know also. Major site, changed my life. So he came down, like 4 months after we started. It was like major thing. It was the first Kollel, term started Kollel, and so Shmuel sits down, and I remember it was in Be'er Rambam, we're learning Be'er Rambam. How young is it? Kollel was in Be'er Rambam. And he asked for a Gemara. We didn't have a Shas, we didn't have a full Shas. He asked for a Mzechta, we didn't have. That's how bad it was. Anyway, so he sits down with the four in the life, he says, like, story people like you, people, you're successful, like people, he said everyone loves this mamish. Like people love it, it. He says, no one's fataying on you, no one's upset. As Shmuel tells us. Yes, no one, he said, like, no one's complaining about it, no one's upsetting you. No, everybody loves what we're doing. He said, that means
even the conservative?
Well, thanks. He said that aside from Shmuel, that's a right, you're not doing anything. He said if you're doing the right thing, if you're building, so people are going to be fatan. If you're saying if no one's fatan on you, something wrong. So he said, this is the first thing. If you don't have challenges in life, that means you're doing something wrong. Calls man you're doing something right, there's always going to be misnagid, there's always going to be the Yitzhar, someone's going to scream at you, someone's going to fight you. And they say, the Baal Tanya says that. Baal Tanya says that if you daven Shemona Esrei and you have kavanah the whole time, there's no, you don't space out. He says it's a bad simon.
What if you space out?
No, listen, this is what he says. He says why? Because if your tefillah is taka good and taka being pile, then the Yitzhar is going to try to stop. The fact that you're having a Shemona Esrei 6 minutes and you're not spacing out, you're able to have kavanah, he says Baal Tanya, that's a simon ra. Something that your tefillahs are not being piled. Because if they were being piled, the Yitzhar would be down there trying to make you think about this, that. So calls man, there's no snagdus, there's no one fighting you, there's no challenges in life. It means you're not doing, it's not good. When you have challenges in life, that means the sun's trying to stop. You know what I'm saying?
But doing
same
more.
Same thing in a community. Just like Baal Tanya says, Bedav. If you come to a community and no one's fighting you, and you have no problems, life is valid, it means there's something wrong. If you're doing Avodas Hashem properly, it's going to be people fighting. Like you said. You hear that? Challenges.
So what if from a guy who gets pushed and buttons every time he gets there to daven?
So I mean that's the raya that you're davening is taka chosh. Meaning if you had nothing stopping you, if you had no ikuvim in your davening, so all of a sudden that means let him daven, fine, let him have kavanah, who cares? But if you're someone who's taka real life, so the sun's going to try to stop you. You understand what I'm saying? Major side in life.
So what's the battle when you're going through that? If you're going through that consistency or the money or the thing, right? So the first 2 years you had the money good, right? Wolfson, somebody, whatever, came and paid the bills. A year later, Rick Shmuel comes and tells you this. Now, what did you do? What did you do? What was the pivot for you, Rabbi?
So I'm saying, first of all, Shmuel told me this side in life, which is very important. Ikuvim is a good thing. So you don't look at it as negative. If someone's fighting you, that means you're doing something right. Because if you're not doing something, if you weren't doing something right, you wouldn't be fighting. That's side number one. Now, okay, so, but and there's always people that were negative. Meisim, we weren't the key. Also, there's a big thing. You want a two-way from life, so you can't be intimidating. You can't, if you come in, you try to make people black hat. Right? Your goal is to make them charedim, and they don't want to be right. So then it's not going to work. If you come benachas, as you say, anyone will tell you, it's exciting kiruv, it's exciting everything. Excited raising kids and in Lakewood, and if you push your kids and your goal is to make them, something they don't want to be, so it's not going to work. You do it benachas, you show them the geschmack of it, and you're not trying to. Your Torah is not to make them black hat. Torah is not to make them charedi, not to make them shivish. You're not trying to make it shivish community. Trying to raise, to give people real, true avodas Hashem, true emes, just to show them the emes, and then they're gonna choose. They're gonna see how good it is. Avishman. That's the way to do it. That's the way to.
So, what did you do in your own journey when you got there?
This was my journey, by the way. My journey was. First, it was great geschmack. I loved it. That was another thing. Every yeshiva, you were like one of the first kohelim. This was a long time ago. Now it's kohelim everywhere, and we were like one of the first out-of-town kohelim. So in a real out-of-town kohelim, not in Chicago, Detroit. It wasn't. It. Talking about like in a hick town like this. So at that time it was hick town. Now it's not. So the every yeshiva would come visit us, give us chizuk, front lines. Everyone came down. Like there was no, every Rashiv, every Mashkiach, they all get the same shmooze. They'd sit down in the car and they'd go, guys, Mamish being wasted efforts, unbelievable, the front lines, fighting for Torah like an iron, And we were like, serious nefesh, you wives. We were like, look at me and Yankee, we look at each other like, serious nefesh is the most geschmack thing. Like, what serious nefesh? We didn't view it as a serious nefesh. It's another study.
How do you view happiness within that thing, the hardship?
That's what I'm saying. It's not really hard. Meaning
you were happy. That's what you're saying. You're saying is what I translate is you were happy to learn daven. This was your avodah. You're doing it every day. This rabbi came, Reb Shmuel came, or whoever it was. This rabbi came and said, "Oh, this is the greatest thing in the world." What you're telling me, you're saying is that you're happy to learn daven.
That's great thing. It's serious. Like they viewed regular New York person, like a person, views people going downtown, wasting effort. Other for us was Mrs. Nefesh, the nice and beautiful place. You don't have the lachats of Lakewood or Brooklyn, this. You could afford a house, the houses then were cheap. Then the patio homes here, I tell you, full of future. Me and Yankee looked into investing, buying a patio home. They were charging, I think it was 52,000, 51. We tried to bargain them. We said, 48 will take like 52. It's a rip-off. That's how much the patio homes, Now
and today there were
like
300.
300. I'm saying, like you can get a house then for 52,000.
Not the houses that you guys live in.
Yeah, I'm saying the patio homes, on Teal Road, all those streets.
Yeah, I'm saying is we Rabbi Nagel is probably more than 50 grand. Even that.
But no, not so much more. I think he paid. I don't want to say, but he paid 110 or 125. Like
whatever he paid.
It's a joke. I'm saying it's still a joke.
Today it's worth in between 300 to $1 million.
Yeah,
Average house.
I'm just saying we didn't look at the Mesiras Nefesh. It was Gavaldik. The place was awesome. I mean, we had a good life. You could afford a car. You could afford a house. Kids have this is your side of life also. You have to know the perspective. If you're in Spitz Lakewood or Spitz New Yorker, so you look at it, this guy's never moving, Nebuch, there's no sushi, there's no you can't get fried chicken in the middle of the night, in whatever, in Evergreen or whatever it's called. So you're gonna, that's Mesiras Nefesh. If you're viewing it, the quality of life is so much better, and you get a geschmack. It's such a sipuk. You're helping. You're not in Lakewood. You're just a number, right? Here you're doing life. Even today, every person in this community, you're not just a number. Okay, now it's becoming more like New York, but that's I'm saying that's another thing. You get sipuk in life. So the Mesiras Nefesh doesn't bother you. So you're getting sipuk out of it. So that's the side. You have to do something. If you're helping other Yidden, that's sipuk. Doing chesed, doing care of people. Also here, that's another thing. You could so easy. Normally, you have to be Rash Kavag, you have to do care, you have to know. people here knew so little. No one, the fact, I always tell people, the fact that I knew how to read Hebrew was like, wow, people knew spell. Never met, like when you're just another guy, okay, you know the number. Here, if you could read Hebrew, you're like a Rash Kabag, you're a Shiva. Because these people never saw, they didn't know what a Gemara was.
Yeah, but I also think even in
Lakewood,
Lakewood, both you, Rabbi Nagel, and yourself, because Rabbi Nagel told me from Rabbi Greenblatt that he could have went and ran a place. He could run any place in Lakewood or Monsey. He could, but I think it is that your explanations. I think both of you.
No, but I'm saying we stagged over here. That's what I'm saying.
Not only that, but I'm saying
I don't know if we would have stagged.
But you, Rebbe, are able to explain things and have a relationship, and I think.
No, but I'm saying
in Lakewood, it's not as well. Nobody wants that relationship. They want to just go and come. Here, people want to have a relationship. Right. So you.
It's one thing, but that's the good for you. You steiged in those areas. That's what I'm saying. You steiged in that area. That's why I started telling you for. Another thing is, so there's two parts. So one is the fact that you're in a call just for guys. So if you miss Seder, you can't miss Seder because there's no call that day. The only 4 guys. The only 2 Chavrush Shafts, right? So what happened was when the Rosh Kollel left after 2 years, so it was just me and Yankee. The board wanted to close the Kollel. They said, listen, we don't have a fundraiser. You're not fundraising. We don't have a Rosh Kollel. Forget it, it's over. We only have 2 guys. Show's over. So me and Yankee said, no, we're gonna find a fundraiser. We're gonna push for the Rosh Kollel. And I'm saying, we were 2 years just me and Aminego, Big Rambam, every single day, first and second Seder, by ourselves. With Maisu, for sure the best 2 years of learning in my life. Those 2 years. Tried is Maisu had no choice. That challenge, we waxed ice from the challenge. We steiged from that challenge because we learned 2 years. Listen, we were the best Chavrush Shaft. I don't know if we really in Lakewood we learned, probably we drop each other. But here is all we got. We sat and learned. You couldn't miss Seder. You come 15 minutes late to Seder. The other guys, there's nothing there. Right? There's no cut. So you had a shibud to each other.
And both of you need each other.
So I'm saying, right, that's steigt from that also. Those 2 years, I don't know if Yankee would say this, I think he would. It's probably the best 2 years of learning my life. Because it might say you had such a shibud, you had to, do it.
And what came out of it
so
after 2 years?
So challenges, I'm showing you how challenges, you steigt from challenge. Challenge of coming to a place with, nothing here. And the challenge of, just threatening to close, and all these challenges, were gewalt. Listen, I'm not saying there's no hardships, but you steigt from it.
I'm trying to learn what the hardships are. That's what I want to hear. What what was it look like in daily life for you to get?
The wives have no friends. They're always complaining. There's no one. Nice even the people here, but that's another thing. You steig from, in Lakewood. Usually in life, you're friends with the people exactly like. Right here. Obviously, you had to befriend all these people, and no shaykhs, like, I'm saying, totally different types of people. You had Gerim, you had Balshuas, you had Fry, you had Reform, Conservative, everything. You had to.
And it seems like it changed.
What do you mean change?
Now.
No, we still have the whole stud out there. This neighborhood changed, came Lakewood. I'm saying.
But Meyer is. Where I'm sleeping in.
You have Svardim, Ashkenazim.
Meyer is more modern and Svardim probably.
Svardim, not modern, not from.
Whatever.
Anyway, but what I'm saying is the side is you vax ice from the challenges. You vax ice in chesed, you vax ice in, like you said, being able to talk to people you never meet before in your life. And also you learn from these people. I'm saying that was talking the serious nefesh of these Gerim or about you, they're giving up everything just to be from you. It's like a fella who, you're embarrassed. As I was FFP, like, that I have real challenges. These guys are mamish meiser nefesh talk over there. These are real people meiser nefesh. We say people, a guy in Koil never is being meiser nefesh for there. These guys here so this guy comes to Mashiach, Rob Brown. Guy's like not shy. He came before he converted. At one point, he was ready to convert. His wife said no. His wife backed out at the last second, so they didn't do the Gerus. And he was going to Min. He lived in Pearland, which is like a 40-minute drive, 30-minute drive. every day they miss a minion for 12 years. At all. Drove in. Imagine a yeshiva guy doing driving 40 minutes every day for 12 years. He's a guy. Wasn't Jewish. Guy that miss a minion. These people he lived in poverty. He told me he hadn't bought shoes in 9 years. And the guy who pushed, his family stopped talking to him. You see what real Messiah's nefesh is. You steig from that.
But you wouldn't say, I want to push back on that for you in your personal life. A guy wants to have children, or you're telling me better, bigger now, let's say even with Bnei Olam, or spirituality or sexuality, right? For you, every day of your life, you're able to just, maybe you're a high spiritual person, you're very consistent. I see that. And I'm trying to learn, because for me, it's very hard for me to pray 3 times a day, even for me to get up and go and do.
Oh, it's a good sign. It's a good sign. Well done.
But in me sitting on the floor and me doing 1 or 2 tefillas is murder for me. Just trying to learn. You're telling me that this guy came for 10 years, 12 years and he didn't pay for shoes. Why is that more inspiration to you than a guy who can't have kids, let's say, or a guy can't get up, or the guy or girl spills seeds? I'm just curious.
One second. One has nothing to do with the other. My inspiration was this guy was Meiser Nefesh to be from. That's my point. The guy who can't have kids, that's a challenge. The guy who can't, many challenges in life. I'm talking about this guy he voluntarily was bringing a challenge on himself. So he only stopped talking. He chose, a guy doesn't have kids. It's a never. It's a challenge, but he didn't choose that. Hashem put that for whatever reason, gave him that aside. This guy is choosing voluntarily to give up his whole past life his family was Catholic, Christian, I don't know what kind of guy, Christian. They stopped talking to him when his kid got bar mitzvah. The grandparents came and they tried to baptize the kid after bar mitzvah. They came with sprinkling holy water. And the kids at the kid's bar mitzvah. By choice. I'm saying that's the difference. The inspiration is, listen, you see people go through tzaras, so it's inspiring that they're able to overcome it. And they're still from, that's inspiring. But this guy shows a lifestyle he knew his parents will disown him. He chose like so that's a whole different, it's very different. Understand? That's what the inspiration is for. You see a guy who's giving up, he knows he has to divorce his wife. That's inspirational. The guy's choosing, he has a beautiful shiksa girlfriend, he's going to drop her voluntarily because he's...
Can we discuss this for a second?
Because you're Shemaim, that's inspirational.
Wait a second, can we discuss?
I can never do that. I don't know
can we discuss this from your perspective? I want to just go on that.
Shiksa girlfriend?
No, let's say a guy, because I've found this many times, even if I only could get 1 or 2 more questions. Have you ever been questioned about some guy who's Jewish and wants to marry a girl that's a guy? That question ever came to your table?
What do you mean? I don't understand the question. Someone
he's about to get married to a guy.
Yeah.
What would you tell them, or what's your?
I dealt with a lot of cases. I never had success talking someone out of it. I had a guy on his girlfriend, and then he dropped her, and then it turns out, and he became a fraud. This guy. It turns out he wasn't Jewish. Halachically at the end, so he's very fatayin on me. He had a young. He doesn't talk to me. He never. This guy went all the way because he thought he was Jewish. I convinced him to go to yeshiva or whatever. And then it turns out he wasn't halachically Jewish. That's a different story, not for now. My point is, I never had success in talking someone out of intermarriage. Because most times, and many mices that I dealt with, the parents or the person's coming to you for help, saying, my daughter's dating a guy, you go talk to her. It's too late by that point. By the time they're coming, the problem is they send the kid to UT Austin. There's 25,000 beautiful Texan girls on campus, and then they call and then they call me up 2 years later. Oh, my son's dating a guy. I could have told you when you sent me. Why'd you send him? Send him to Toro, send him to New York, send him to Queens College, right? Meaning people are just stupid. So it's not. By the time they come to you, it's usually too late. I never had success in being able to talk someone out of marriage. The case once, 2 sisters, and they're both dating Goyim. They came to me in Palestine. The father called us up, and he said, could you meet with them? One of them was dating Yankee, a player of the Yankees. What do you got? I'm gonna talk this girl out of she's dating like Yankee player. Like what do you? So we couldn't do it. We didn't even try. We happened to be Rabbi Tatz. You know Kiva Tatz? You know Kiva Tatz? You know who he is?
Yeah, go for it.
Big, whatever, Kiva guy. So brilliant guy. So he happened to be coming to town that day. So he met with the girl. And he spent 2 hours with her. Still garnished. So you can't. If someone's already engaged and whatever, halfway there, it never works.
I believe that there's love from my perspective and my journey. I think I've talked to a lot of atheists in my young life, and I've changed a lot of atheists' minds in my 27 years.
Atheist and dating.
Why? Why do you think? Why do you?
No, I'm saying because
I'm pushing back.
Is love. You love this guy.
What do you mean?
He's a cool guy. He's not.
What do you mean? He lost his life. He lost his mother. Why do you think, if you were to put in the mind of this girl or guy, why do you think they end up going down that rabbit hole? Do you think it's sex? Do you think it's lust? Do you think it's money?
All the above. It's not the point. The point is that these people have no connection to the Yiddish guy. Of course they're gonna. Why wouldn't they date a Yank? They have a chance to date a Yank. It's like top choice in the world. Why would they give it up? It's not like they're for stay. Atheist. First of all, I never met someone who says there's an atheist and really is. That's a different story. All my experience, people who say they're atheists are never atheists. That's not
what do you think they are?
No, they like talking about. They think they're atheists. You can't be an atheist unless you explored religions and you really came to conclusion. Very few people did that. Claim they're atheists. That's
claimed, or that their opinion. They could be agnostic. So
yeah,
so what do you mean?
Atheist means you.
No, he doesn't believe in anything.
You study philosophy and you came to conclusion. There's no way. I never found someone who said that, and they really are. When you talk to them, how do they believe? It's a way to say I'm not interested. It's an excuse, not a belief. Well, it's an excuse not to be shy. They want to have fun. Okay, yeah, I'm atheist. I don't believe it. Prove to me there's a God. Never.
So you're
I'm gonna end with one mice. I gotta go. So he's not the mice shy. I'm not gonna say names. So there was a guy. Okay, he started coming to Kotel. He was learning. And then he was coming from her, he was married, and he had two teenage girls at the time, or 3. And not teenagers, little, they were 8, 9. And then as he was coming from her, it turns out that he realized his wife was adopted. She's not halachically Jewish. Her parents were Jewish, but she was adopted. And she turns out she's not halachically Jewish. So now he's becoming from her. It wasn't Shabbos yet, but from her, he kept learning, coming to learn. He realized his wife's not halachically Jewish, so he came and he said, I say every night I'm going home sleeping with a shiksa, which I do. I realized that I'm sleeping with a shiksa every night. Right? So what he tells the guy, married. Was he happily married? No, she was alcoholic, she had problems. But the nice he was married to, he loved her. So we didn't know what to do. What he tells the guy, so what should I do? So not agreeing, but I was here one night doing a get. And so it's a bad idea, but one of the rabbis, Jack Palachek actually at the time, he said, there's a big rabbi here, let's go talk to him. He's in the kitchen, the old building in Israel. So we went to the kitchen, and there's a major side, also changed my life, this story. So it's side in challenges also, it's important to know. So not the schmoozing with the guy, and he asked him, is there any chance? So he said he wanted to know she'd be Megar's daughters. He realized his daughters are a guy, man. His kids are guy. His wife was a guy. So he asked him not to should I be Megar the kids. So not to said, listen, is there any chance your wife will keep a kosher kitchen? Will she interested in being Megar, like anything? Is there any chance that she'll become Megar? No, 0 chance. She wouldn't keep a kosher kitchen. She's not going to work. So not said, and don't be Megar. Because just because you're making it worse for them. You make them Jewish, and then they're going to be eating trifles in the kitchen. Like, no point. What's the point? So the kids would have a guy. After he left, and then, by the way, this guy ended up getting divorced. Not only because of this, other reasons. Alcoholic, he moved to Eretz Yisrael, and he's married now, second wife, Isn't that so? He sits and learns all day. This guy's in Kala, full-time Kala. Anyway, but the point is, he didn't finish the story. Then you get the punchline. Punchline is, so after the guy left the room, Nata called me over, like half hour later, called me up. Grossman, I gotta speak to you. He tells me this, I would have never used such lashonis, but I'm quoting not the verbatim. He said, Grossman, you think, because you're in Kiev, you can change the world, you can fix everything. Just don't think you can fix everything because you're in Kiev. He says, this is what he told me, is that lashon, again, I wouldn't say it myself. He said, sometimes a guy craps in his pants, you can clean it up. Sometimes a guy craps his pants, he says, you can't clean it up, there's nothing to do. No, you can't fix it. He says, don't think, because you're in Kiev, you can fix everything. So Major you said, he said, so it changed my life. You know, I was this maniac with these young guys, we thought we could change the world, we'll fix everything. You can't fix everything, this guy is, his kids are going. Nothing you can do about it. Stuck in them as never. That's it, so it changed my life. That you have to know what you can fix and what you can't fix.
Can you bring that to giving chinuch?
You know what I'm saying? It was not always is everything fixable.
So if it's not fixable, and what would you say to two things? One is, what would you say to your children?
Yeah.
To your children or people's children or your chinuch of the way you raise your children, and then what are books that you like, if you recommend me?
Then we'll continue. We'll continue. Have to stop.
Wait, you gotta answer. You can't give me about a guy who failed in marriage and then not tell me what your advice to me and others. For me,
We'll talk about it next time.
I want to know right now. Wait a second.
Yeah, decide this.
You decide this. Wait a second.
Now you have to apply these sides. I don't apply it.
So how do you apply that to people in chinuch? How do you, when a guy goes all the way, and you're saying is that he went through the rock?
What do you say? No, some things are fixable. So a guy goes off there, it's fixable.
Why do you say that's more fixable versus the guy you say?
No, because that's the Gemara says. You have a mamzer. It's a obvious yuchal asakin, right? The Gemara says there are things that you messed up in life, you can't fix them.
Why can't the guy fix him? That's what bothers me.
No, and how are you gonna fix him? His wife's not for him. You can't be Megar then because it's a.
It's your avoida. Hold up a second. If your avoida, if my avoida is doing it every day, davening, learning, working, doing something, and there's a guy in Spain, let's say, hypothetically, and he talks to Louis, does he take advice from Louis? Of course he does. If he has a conversation with Louis or Rabbi Grossman, every time we have a conversation, it takes two to tango, two to untangle, right? This conversation, right? It's a relation, me and Rabbi Grossman. I learned from Rabbi Grossman how he is davening, learning, working, how he can help a yid. I learned from that. I take his inspiration. So, just to finish this conversation, what are you saying that you're saying that you can't fix it, but your avoida of him watching you, he or she watching you, does that help? Can you say that is fixable or not?
Of course that works, but I'm saying it's not gonna. If, like you said, sometimes this guy, his kids are going, you can't fix it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not fixable.
So why was it me going off the derech, let's say, in my journey? Why is that fixable? Because a guy hated his parents, or a guy said that basically that he
going off the derech, you always come back. Little therapy, you hate your parents, you go to therapy, you figure it out. I'm saying that's fixable. There are things that are fixable, there are things that are not. First of all, you can always do tshuva. But that's not going to fix the fact this guy is stuck with kids again. He's never had kids again, right? So that's the difference. That's not fixable.
Where could somebody fix when there's a challenge, in your opinion? And
most cases are fixable.
Why?
Many cases are fixable, but not everything is fixable, right? By the way, Shlomo Zalman, you should know, we got sacked. Us actually, we're freed from Dallas. Let's say you have a couple that we'll talk about it more next time, but we had a lot of couples like this, that one was interested, one was not. One was coming from. They get divorced or not, what do you do? Shlomo Zalman gave a psak to free of Dallas, never advise a couple to get divorced. Even if she's Machal Shabbos or he's Machal Shabbos and she wants to be totally, and she's not going to be able to be Shabbat Shabbos with him, she's not going to go to the mikveh, this, that. Never get divorced. He said because, major side, because they're going to end up presenting from Kain. Even if, they get divorced, she loves this guy. They got married. They have major, in Ruchnis, there are two different levels, and it's not, one of them can't become from. without the other. They have to go together. Otherwise, she's not going. So in a case like that, he said, if you convince the guy, okay, get divorced, and go out and find someone else, he's going to resent. He's going to end up. It might work short term. At the end, he's going to end up resenting. He gave up his first wife, like this guy gave up his shiksa girlfriend. He was fatah, and then it ends up he wasn't even Jewish. That was different. But the point is
there any
you sometimes a quick fix is not always the best thing. The person has a challenge. Sometimes you have to live with the challenge. So I'm saying, if a guy's in a marriage and it's a good relationship, okay, and you go out and now he can't be Shama Shabbos because she's not letting. If you advise the guy to get the Shama Shabbos, not like, we're not talking about some yokel, this is a da. So don't, even if it means he's not going to go all the way, he's not going to confirm, you never advise someone to break up the marriage.
Is there a truth? This is what Rabbi Nagel. I hear what you're saying. I want to know if you agree with Rabbi Nagel on this. If every single divorce, every time he's ever done, and I've been on the wall, fly on the wall, many cases in the last 5-10 years, that I can't say which ones, but he believes that there's truth in every single tangle of a man and woman. Do you agree with that in all these cases? That there's some truth?
What do you mean?
There's some truth. There's some truth that the reason that they coming to you to break it off, to give a get, that basically there's some truth
as
to it.
As opposed to what? What's the other side?
Is he's coming and he's telling you all these things from he versus her, and with the social media, with technology, and from what his opinion, that you can watch. You can watch and you can hear that he said basically that in all his 20, 30 years today, 28 years of him being in Houston, of taking on cases, that he said there's always some type of truth from the man and the woman. Do you have a different take on that, by the way?
He's the expert in Gittin. I'm not such an expert in marriage. Renegel's the expert.
Thank you to Rabbi Grossman for the Busy People podcast.